Right, straight away, I'm a little sick. I don't think it's affecting my voice at all, but if it is, I'm sorry. My bad. Also, due to the circumstances of the story and everything that happens, there's some details I just can't talk about because it's, it's the internet. Considering that legal things are involved, I don't really want to mess with that because I don't fully understand it. So there are some details I can't have to miss out, which unfortunately make the story a lot better. And it probably would be fine, but if I'm wrong and it's not fine, the consequence of that, I don't want to deal with that. So if it feels like there's some stuff that is missing from the story, then there probably is. Fellas, hey, bad news. Yesterday I got robbed, I got burgled, I got thoroughly bamboozled. My booster board, my iPad, my laptop, among other things were gone. All counted up, it was about $15,000 worth of stuff stolen. A lot of space on my desk now though. I'm okay, I'll be okay. It happens. But there might be a pretty noticeable sort of gap in content as I get my shit together. Thank you for your patience. I'll be with you again shortly. It wasn't fun. I wouldn't recommend it personally. I don't have an exact script to go off, but I've told the story enough times. I'm hoping I can just wing it. How did it happen? So my close friend Max, this is all Max's fault, isn't it? Max was going away to America for a while for an exchange program. It wasn't exchange? He was going to study in America for a bit. I know I should know what program it is, but I'm a bad friend and I don't know details like that. We decided as a flat that we could host his going away party. Max doesn't have that many friends. We can just host that. Should be fine. It was the biggest party we ever hosted. Yeah, a lot of people in the flat, a lot of people I don't know. And you might be thinking, yeah, it's the perfect time to get robbed. No! Funny enough, that wasn't when it happened. Weird, right? Then we all went out to town. I was probably away for like 2 hours. Came back, still hadn't been robbed, which again, that probably would have been a pretty good window to been robbed in. Half the flat is home and our neighbours, some of our friends. So we all went into Old Red's room, because he's got the biggest room, just for clarification. Hi, welcome to our flat. Sorry for the mess. For reference, I was there, and my room is there. Can you see either of those doors actually? I didn't frame this very good. This is my door. This is where I was. That's the distance of where I was. It was cold, so we had the heater on and we did have the door closed. However, we were home, so we figured it was fine. I walk out to get my drink bottle. I lean over my laptop at the time to grab my drink bottle. So the stuff was still there at this stage. And I'm not going to act like I was sober, but I remembered I was still walking. I was still together. So I knew all my stuff was still there. I walk back into Old Ridge's room. I come out maybe not that long after. It was between a 10-minute, 30-minute window when I left the room again. Our neighbours, friends went home, and I actually went to make myself some food because I was trying to eat something before I went to bed. I remember thinking this exactly. I'll probably eat this at my desk. So my desk is pretty messy though, it's lots of stuff on top of it, as I've just seen. So I have to clear some stuff. So I brought my plate back from the kitchen, I sat down at my desk, and I remember just putting it down and being like, where is my shit? I looked around my desk and I was like, it's not my iPad and my laptop are missing. It's crazy. Maybe they were moved. Maybe I moved them. I looked around my room. I was like, oh, they're not here. They're not here. I looked around the flat. I'm like, they're not here. They're not here. So maybe the neighbors are pranking me. Maybe they grabbed it and moved it back to their flat to do a little funsy, a little fun, a little goof. So I actually kind of broke into their flat. However, they weren't there. There's a chance they were in their rooms, but I was like, probably wasn't the case. At this point, I started to panic. I texted our shared group chat. I was like, lads, did we just get robbed? Does anyone know where my shit is? Everyone either didn't know anything or was asleep. And I was like, oh, this might be bad. I'll just go to bed, wake up, and find my stuff. It'll be that easy. It'll be that simple. So, woke up the next day. We had to go drop off Becky at the airport. So I kind of rushed out of my room. We drove there, drove back. I remember getting back into bed, lying down, falling asleep briefly, having not a good sleep, and waking up and looking around my room and being like, oh, that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. And just really realizing how much of my shit was missing. Which means that after throwing a huge party with a bunch of people we didn't know, and going to town and coming back, it was just us in the flats, just home alone, just chilling. That is when we got robbed. So they came through here, went into there, while I was there, and they took all my stuff out that way. It didn't make a sound, or at least sound that we could hear. They could have so heard us as well. The gumption they had. I was in the fucking house, and not many other people were, when it happened. Do you know how embarrassing that is? That is so rough. Right under our nose, and they had such a small window to actually do it as well. Like, and now this question is, how much stuff did they steal? As you might have seen about TikTok, the rough number of everything that was stolen that night was about $15,000 worth of shit. Yeah. Here's the list. I'm pretty sure I can do this off the top of my head. Okay. They took my iPad Pro 2020 model. They took the Apple Pencil that was attached to my laptop, which was an Asus ZenBook Pro 2018. Bunch of cables and chargers. They took my 2TB Seagate hard drive. They took my boosted board Stealth and the charger for it. They took my Instax Polaroid printer. It had a full cartridge of film inside it. They took my cologne, kind of ratchet. They took my GoPro Hero 8 Black. They took the SD card inside the Hero Black 8. They took my projector, which was an Anker Nebula. And they took 2 pairs of Jordans. One of the pairs was fake, actually. So, the other pair, which were real when I found out they were worth thousands of dollars on StockX. So that one sucked. They took my Kathmandu backpack, which has been a pain in the ass. They took some fake off-white glasses. Sure, okay. And 2 watches and my Jaybird Vistas. It's a lot of stuff. However, here's a really weird bit. Okay, I'm just going to have to show you this. Okay, so I'm currently filming on this camera. But this camera was sitting right here, and my 2 lenses, as well as the G7X, were sitting there. Not cheap equipment at all. However, my cologne was sitting right next to it. So they took that, but they left the lenses that were sitting right there. I'm not complaining. I'm definitely not complaining. I just think that's really strange. My old iPhone was on my bed as long as my Nintendo Switch, but they took the Polaroid printer and the projector, but not the iPhone and the Nintendo Switch, which I don't know, personally that's what I'd be stealing if I was robbing a place, but hey. I'm so thankful that they did not take my camera or any of my camera gear. That stuff is both expensive and it's also kind of old at this stage, so insurance wouldn't have covered it too much, I don't think. And it was right there, like it was sitting right there, but they also took a booster board and not the remote for it, so they couldn't use the booster board. My old laptop also didn't work if it wasn't plugged in, and they left the charger here, so they couldn't use that either. They also can't access the iPad because it's locked. And as said before, the Jordans, those obsidians they took weren't real. The other ones were real, but so overall, like, not really that successful of a haul. Now, what I'm not gonna do is make threats or insults to people who do know where I live and have broken into my room before. And also, potentially, not that I know this, might be capable of some other shit. I'm personally not going to insult those people. However, I am definitely confused by their approach to some things. But hey, anyways, that's how it happens, and that's what got stolen. One part of this experience that's really bothered me is that my door did not have a lock on it. When I moved in here, I was always like, oh yeah, I need to put a lock on that door. I've got a lot of expensive shit. I should probably put a lock on my door so that stuff doesn't get stolen. Not that I'm going to get robbed, because like, come on, who gets robbed these days? But I always thought it was going to be like a big hassle. I thought it was going to be a big mission. I thought I was going to call my landlord or something to like figure this whole shit out. So I procrastinated for 1.5 years and didn't do it. Then after I got, robbed, I was like, all right, enough kidding around. I'm going to put a lock on this bitch. It cost me like $15 from Bunnings and it took like 20 minutes to put it on. It did not take long at all. So PSA, if you have one of these door handles, it's very easy to put a lock on it. You should do it. Better safe than sorry. So obviously, when you get robbed, there's 2 things you need to do. Tell the police and tell your insurance. Optional 3, cry a little bit. I filed a police report online and I went through the process of filing my insurance. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I went in with pretty low expectations. Although what was taken was a lot of money, I wasn't harmed. There was no violence involved. There are simply bigger crimes going on right now. Insurance as well, I was pretty sure like, stuff's kind of old. I don't know what I'm actually going to get for this. The good news though is that my expectations were greatly exceeded. So first of all, the police. The police sent someone to get fingerprints off my desk and room. The desk, the texture of it, apparently isn't very good for fingerprints. But then I was like, hey, they took my charger for the booster board, so they will put their hands on the power board thing. Person was like, oh yeah, maybe. So they tried to get some fingerprints off it, but it's the expectation of like, yeah, probs not much will happen. Although mostly it's my shit was stolen, an Android tablet was actually stolen off Oldroid. This tablet also didn't have a password on it. So we were using this tablet to control the music at the party, so it didn't have a password on it, so you could get into it easily and anyone could put a song on, which Just side tangent. Awful decision. I don't know why the fuck we thought that was a good idea. Never let anyone that isn't the hosts, a special guest, or like a DJ choose music at a party. You've got to keep that strict. The tablet didn't have a password on it. The people who had the tablet and potentially stole it tried to hack into it and try to hack into Aldred's Android and Google account, which did actually result in him losing a lot of photos and personal data. It got wiped, which sucks a lot. However, they did accidentally leak their email and phone number to us. Again, I'm not going to make insults to people who know where I live and have already stolen my shit. But come on. How do you slip up like that? So me and Aldred are like, let's take this to the police. So we take to the police and we put the details forward. And I go, okay, cool, we'll plug this in and add it to your police report. Aha, we know who this is. Like, it was a person that had a history of the police. So legally, they can't tell us who that is, but they knew something. And so that at least gave a little bit of hope. I also then got a phone call not too long afterwards. Hey, what electric skateboard were you missing? Oh yeah, I was missing a booster board that says Adam Bridges on it. Yeah, we found that. And some Nikes? Yeah, some green ones. Yeah, we found those too. So the police were raiding another place, which was in the vicinity of this place, and we're told, hey, heads up, there was some shit stolen recently. Keep an eye out for these things. And they found some of the stuff. They found my booster board, these very Nike shoes, and an Xbox controller actually. That was another thing that was stolen. So hey, I got some of my shit back. It was kind of a coincidence. We'll get into how I felt about everything later, but getting my booster board back meant a lot. That was huge. That was really nice. I don't think I should be saying names, but I'm very grateful for the work the police did on that. Unfortunately, the rest of my stuff was gone and not found. The timing of it all was actually quite funny. I had just gone through some life events and I was feeling quite lost, and I was really keen just to throw myself into some work. And I was also thinking during this time, wow, my setup right now, perfect. Don't need anything new. Like, I'm content. I don't need anything right now. Like, for the next few years, I'm good on my setup. And then it disappeared. The first week after getting robbed was definitely a low point. I kind of just didn't do anything all week. I didn't really know what to do myself. I watched a lot of Sam Calder videos. Sam Calder is his creator, a big inspiration. And one of the watches that was stolen was his signature watch. And I actually didn't know they were stolen initially. And I had a party or something to go to at the end of the week. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go classy for this one. I'm gonna wear my Sam Calder watch. And I've been realizing that those two watches were gone. Was like, oh. Punch to the gut. That's why I started to really feel like the loss, the emptiness, just a bit of defeat, really. It is currently very late. Alright, so far we've talked about how did it happen, what did they steal, how did I go about it, and now's the time to talk about how I felt. I feel like I've kept a pretty lighthearted attitude throughout the majority of this video, and that's sort of how I've dealt with it in real life as well. I'm not acting like I'm thrilled about it, but I'm definitely been trying to like deviate attention away from the this isn't that good of a thing that happened to me part of it. But in actuality, this whole thing has definitely had a bit of an effect, as you'd expect. I was talking about how small of a window it was. I bet they had to steal it, but like, it was such a small window that the fact I didn't run into them is honestly more likely that I was going to run into them than not. And that's scary. You know, they found some of my stuff because they raided a different house. That was for a whole different crime. I don't think it's wise for me to put out actual details of what that crime is, but it wasn't good. It was in my room. It was in my house. It was in my home. I could have almost ran into him. And who knows what he would have done to me. And look, we were careless. It's a flat. Like, we kept shit unlocked. I can tell you now, that door's always fucking locked now. Every night before I go to bed, I make sure the door's locked. I make sure my bedroom's locked. I've always had issues falling asleep. Like, it's been a very common trend in my life, is that insomnia has me by the balls. And insomnia does actually stem from some form of paranoia. You're learning a lot about me today. Having something like validate that paranoia, it's definitely had an effect. Yeah, falling asleep is kind of tricky now, although it's always been pretty shit. I've only just kind of been thinking that it's sort of been aligning when these someone else awake in the flat. Damn, normally someone's awake at about 6 a.m. I'm going to sleep just before that. Like, my body's, it's almost like my brain is subconsciously trying to leave such a small gap of time that no one's awake in the flat and, like, you know, dropping the guard. It's a funny coincidence, if anything. It was definitely like an anxiety factor of it. Like, it's in, you know, some time has passed since this all happened, but I still keep my door locked. If I know I'm going to be away from my room for more than 10 minutes, I lock my door. They took my hard drive, and they took my old iPad. There was some stuff on the laptop, but most of the stuff was backed up on the laptop. But that iPad had a lot of stuff that was not backed up. And like something that I've learned from this whole experience, back up your shit. Back that shit in the cloud on hard drives, put those hard drives on Vault. I get pretty close to my iPads. Well, a friend of mine who I've been friends with since like throughout high school, he was telling me like how an iPad becomes like my arm in a sense, because I'm so, not because I'm an iPad kid like that, but like, you know, it was saying like the way I work through it, like it's quite a personal thing, and it is. The software that I'm used to creating stuff with, it's like second nature to me, and like I get very attached to like being able to express my ideas through these devices and have those, you know, ideas stored in there. There's a lot on that iPad. There's actually a lot of really important files for Blade Bolt and branding and stuff like that, which is a huge pain in the ass. Like lots of sentimental files of artwork that like I never really shared, but like it meant something to me. There was a project on there that was, you know, hopefully gonna be a big payday for me, and that start that from scratch again. I get really attached to my work, and I really like having the original files to my work, especially the vlog finales. The vlog finales are the most important videos I make to myself. Like, although I consider all my creative endeavors my life's work, if there's like a certain series or group of projects that feel particularly more like my life's work, it's definitely those. And now no longer having non-compressed versions of those videos hurts a bit. And for this year's finale, I was really hoping to make something truly incredible. And although I still think I'm going to be able to achieve that, I did lose a lot of videos I was planning on using. I'd shot specifically for it. Places where it's like, do I have to climb Mount Taranaki again to get that footage again? And just losing all that just drives me up the wall, to be real. And I should have backed them up. That was silly of me. Well, actually, no, I had backed up the vlog finales. They were on the hard drive, and there was so much on that hard drive. Stuff I was like saving for projects I want to do when I'm like 50, 60, like old footage, like old moments. Maybe if I wanted to make like a big retrospective video in the future when I'm older, like a lot older, I had that, but guess not. I was able to track my iPad and see where it was at. Probably like a few weeks after the robbery, I could see exactly where it was. And I contacted police, and they said they were talking about maybe a possibility of, you know, trying to get it back or some process, but I was looking at likely. And in fairness, I figured that was a pretty big ask. But it was sort of like this hope. It's out there, you know. Who knows, maybe I could get it back. I was always thinking, like, if I could just get it back for like 10 minutes, and it's like airdrop shit. Today, actually, I was editing about and looking at stuff, and I actually opened to find my app to look at something, and I saw it moved. It pinged like outside the subway, and that was like 10 days ago. I don't know, something about this location, everything. I was looking at it, like how close it was to a highway, but like, it's gone. Like, there's a small chance that it could come back, but even then it's so minuscule. There's a small chance that it even stays intact. It seems pretty obvious that it's probably gone. Might not be, well, I'm definitely not getting it back. It's a fun thought to have to come to. The anxiety like will subside, and it has a little bit, because I mean I've been keeping this place locked. Someone asked me, I forget who exactly asked me, like, has your faith in humanity been ruined? Like, have you lost your trust in people? And the answer is no. Yeah, some bad people screwed me over, but I knew that there were bad people out there. That's not news to me. But just like the general support I've gone from, like both my close friends, obviously, and just like general people that I know, it was like this branch of support that's coming out. Just having that sympathy was nice. I definitely like could have done a better job at like accepting it, but I was just, you know, I was trying really hard to like divert, but yeah, I'm fine, that happens. To everyone that's supported me and helped me out and just, you know, been by my side throughout all this, especially my flatmates, my neighbors, and my family, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I don't deserve you. I've been talking for 20 minutes. Fuck. Hopefully it wasn't 20 minutes edited down, and hopefully it made sense. It felt wrong to like make this big video about this situation or actually talk about the real feelings I had. Alright, that's enough feeling sorry for myself. Let's talk about the silver lining. Let's talk about the insurance. I went online, I applied, I was like, hey yo, lads, team, my stuff is going walkabouts. And since, you know, I'm a professional, I do have decent insurance, considering it's like my work tools. And oh my god, did they clutch up. I'm talking straight up replacements for almost everything, like my projector, my Instax printer. So to have all that shit back is
insane, a blessing, and not the outcome I thought was going to happen. As for the main workhorses, the laptop and the iPad, I was able just to upgrade. I'm talking new iPad Pro with an M1 chip in it, and this thing crunches editing. Oh my god. I'm gonna scroll through a timeline and it doesn't even lag. It doesn't has it all there. I remember editing vlogs on my iPhone 6 and thinking it was gonna blow up when I tried to render like one vlog. And also, although I did have the bigger iPad Pro and this is now a smaller one, I way prefer the size actually. I always used to fantasize about having a huge screen, like having stuff about, but it was actually just inconvenient. And honestly, going back to a smaller size, I feel like I'm using my iPad more, and I feel like I'm making more stuff because it's more convenient to use. So that's a silver lining that I didn't expect to come out of this. As for the laptop, well, I had an Asus ZenBook Pro from 2018, which had like a screen and a mouse pad, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. And it was really useful during high school. However, they've got this new one with a screen at the top that just is huge, and like you could put an editing timeline there, I'm thinking. Yeah, we've got a bit of an upgrade on that one. Holy shit. I really want to learn DaVinci Resolve and eventually switch to it as my main editing software. And having a computer that actually has the power to use the software properly and actually execute the ideas I want to do without a lot of hassle is very exciting. Very exciting. And although initially I was struggling to find the motivation to work again, this video that you're watching now completely taken over my life. I'm not gonna lie. Is the work-life balance completely fucked? Yes. Am I sleeping right now? Ooh, but I've been obsessed with this. Like, I haven't been this obsessed with editing videos since like 2017. When I started the vlog. Having this huge project just consume my life and just stoke the creative fire, like, I feel so much like myself again, and I'm really happy about it. I'm loving it. I do need to sort out the time management aspect of it because what I've got going right now, not sustainable. But I'm super excited to see what these new tools I have available to me allow me to create. I feel unbelievably inspired right now. Like, I've got so many ideas, I literally can't sleep. Honestly, that's what's keeping me up. I just keep having ideas. I just feel excited about doing work again. It really reminds me how blessed I am to do this job and have the opportunities I have. And I want to thank you all for giving me those opportunities. Would I have still overall preferred this experience not to happen? Yeah, yes. The paranoia isn't fun, but I definitely feel like I've come out of this best case scenario. And I believe that concludes my story. That's how I got robbed. Thank you so much for watching. This has been an absolute mammoth of a project to make. If there's anything you should learn from this, back up your stuff and make sure you lock your doors. Because I'm trying to get that lick back. I'm trying to get even with the world. You better watch out. You keep that shit locked. That's a joke. I'm not planning on robbing any places. That was a joke. This is humor. As the saying goes, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Ain't nothing gonna keep me down. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. 11 minutes? Oh. See, the funny thing is, I've almost, like, right now, I'm almost finished editing this video. This is, like, the last bit I've got to edit. And I've been recording for 11 minutes. Motherfucker, I'm not sleeping tonight. The lighting right now is incredible.